This balding old man never expected that at the age of 52, he would be transported to another world, and what's more, to a dating sim game that his daughter often plays. As a result, Jack had some understanding of the game's content. Now, he had reincarnated as the villainous Lady Lucy in the game. At the gate, the pink-haired girl was the protagonist of the game, a commoner. According to the game's plot, the girl would soon trip and fall to the ground. At that moment, Lucy was supposed to step forward, mock the girl, and insult her beloved parents. Jack thought about this and called out to Jenny. The onlookers expected a scene of bullying, but to everyone's surprise, Jack praised the girl's grades and complimented her parents on their proper upbringing. As soon as he finished speaking, Jack suddenly realized he might have said too much, but Jenny was deeply moved by his words. Jack was shocked by her reaction. However, the people around them couldn't hear what they were saying and assumed that Jenny was crying because Lucy had mocked her. Hearing the gossip, Jack decided to move to another place. For her parents, Jenny decided to study hard at the academy and later find a good job so her family could live a more prosperous life. But as a 52-year-old man, Jack's thoughts were different from Jenny's. He believed that one should focus on personal growth in order to live a fulfilling life. That was the true wish of parents, and it turned out Jack was right. Jenny's parents had said the same thing. However, at that moment,
グレイスかいまさか入学式の日にもう誰かを泣かせているのか
from Lucy's memories, Jack had a rough idea of who this person was. He was not only the kingdom's first prince, but also Jack's fiancé. But Jack couldn't remember his name for the life of him. For a middle-aged man, it was completely normal to forget someone's name. After a long life, there were just too many names to remember. But with his 30 years of social experience, he cleverly passed the problem on to Jenny.
そうでしたわね、アンナ。私はグレイス・オーベルグ。よろしくね。そしてこちらの方のお名前だけど、当ててごらんなさい。ヒントはこの国の第一王子。あ、ビルジール王大使殿下。
それ
そうよ。よくわかったわね、アンナ。そりゃこの国の王子様の名前を知らない国民なんていませんよ。
Originally, the prince would have comforted Jenny, who was crying alone. But under Jack's influence, things took a different turn. Jack's every move didn't seem like something a villainous would do. When he met the academy head, he politely greeted him. This stunned everyone. The Lucy they knew was nothing like this. When textbooks were being handed out, Jenny was thrilled. To her, having such beautiful books was like a dream. Watching Jenny chattering in class, Jack immediately planned to scold her, saying the teacher hadn't finished speaking yet, and that she should save her excitement for her room. Jack thought this reprimand would fit his villainous persona perfectly, though he felt bad scolding such a well-behaved child. His worries were unnecessary. Jenny actually found Jack very kind. Having only just met, he pointed out her commoner's flaws, and seriously focused on reading. While she was lost in her thoughts, she didn't realize that Jack was simply testing his eyesight. In his previous life, when reading, his fingertips would slip, so he couldn't help but lick his fingers. And because of presbyopia, even when close to the text, he couldn't see it clearly. But now, his hands didn't slip, and he could read even the smallest print.
快適
魔術の本くらい見慣れてるはずのグレイス様があんな嬉しそうに。なんて向上心。私も見習わなくちゃ。
Then, Jack took Jenny to the dining hall. As for the buffet style, Jack was already used to it from his previous life. However, some ignorant noble girls began to make a fuss, thinking it was the servants' job to bring the food to the table, so they refused to do it themselves. But their servants couldn't enter the academy. The students had to learn to be independent in their daily lives, although the villainess seemed to have an attitude that was acceptable. To Jack, this scene looked like spoiled children throwing a tantrum. So, ignoring them, he elegantly prepared his own meal and began to enjoy the delicious food. This scene caught the attention of 3 girls.
これはなかなかのものですわ。
はい、とっても美味しいです。
私たちもいただきましょう。
そうですわね。
Jack was truly satisfied with it. Although the overall civilization was in a 19th century style, the food quality was no different from modern standards. Considering that everyone here was a living person, Jack decided to show proper manners when interacting with them. Although he was a commoner, he knew the minimum basic manners. First, finish your meal, then praise the chef for the delicious food. So, with this in mind, he elegantly picked up his utensils and stood up.
器はこちらへお下げしてよろしいのかしら。
はいありがとうございます
それでは一つお願いしたいのですけれど、シェフにお伝え願いますかしら。とても良いお味でしたと。
は確かに承りました
私もシェフに一言お礼を。
私もシェフに。私もですわ。さすがですグレイス様。
これは後の学園の伝統になったという。